Are you passionate about entertainment? Music, fashion, film, movies, whatever. But you feel like you don't have the right connections, or how do I even get there? Well, this video is just for you. Hi, my name is Kadaisha. Thank you for watching this video today. This is Red Velvet Productions, where we do a lot of insider tips, entertainment tips, industry, that type of thing, and tutorials coming soon on like video editing and all that stuff. So let's get started. Disclaimer, I am not the top of the top Hollywood, the top of the top industry. I will consider myself a beginner myself, but I feel like I know enough to give some advice to just start doing something, because for two reasons. I know how it feels to just have nothing, no connections whatsoever. And secondly, I think it's important to know that I like to work with people beside me instead of above me, because that sucks. So I'm gonna tell you a little bit about my story, not too deeply. But I'm gonna tell you a little surface level about my story, and if you wanna skip ahead, you can to the tips that I give. But I'm telling you, these tips are very helpful and you gotta take advantage of them. So I have known I wanted to do entertainment or be a creative ever since I was a child. I came out the womb low-key knowing. But I didn't really get serious because I was kind of told, oh, that's not a job, or oh, you shouldn't consider something like that. So I kind of hid it for years. But I've always done video editing. I've had 8 million YouTube channels, and I've always like had that drive in me to do something creative. And then when I went to college, well, I'm in college right now. I'm actually in my dorm room doing this. I started really realizing that, do I want to live a life of being miserable? No. So I was like, let me do something that I love and I'm passionate about. So my area is more of like video editing, the business side of like the entertainment industry, and like kind of that type of thing, like really into music, film, like really into camera and filming and that technical skills, that type of work. So that's something that I'm interested in, doing at the moment. So yes, I took the traditional route. Yes, I'm in college. And let me tell you, this video is for people that if you have no connections and you're not in college, you can still do this. This video still applies to you. I actually made it in a way where it can really apply to anybody that's really passionate about entertainment, because I will be honest, since I'm in college, yes, it was easier for me to do these things because I had people around me, my professors, and like they really want you to be successful. So the first thing I would recommend is this is a struggle that I had, is first focus on 1 to 3. I would say one thing, but I always do things in threes. So focus on about 1 to 3 things that you see yourself doing in the industry. So let's just say, oh, you want to be a video editor, a musician, or I don't know, or a fashionista, I don't know. 3 things that you really want to do, and create at least 3 different portfolios. So if you're trying to be a model, give at least 3 have something to show, because you may already have this, and if you have this step, that's okay. The reason I say this is because I had trouble with it. A lot of people, especially if you're going to a networking event, a party, they're like, oh, what do you do? And you're like, oh, I'm a video editor. Oh, I don't have any videos to show. Or I don't have any good videos to show. If you don't have nothing to show for, how the hell somebody gonna hire you? Make it make sense. You know what I'm saying? Even if you have no like the business side and technical side is really important. If you're really good at organization and want to be a producer, maybe show a mock of a business plan or a mock of a show. Like, find a way to show what work is good for you. Because if you don't, girl, boy, whoever watching this, baby, you're not getting that job, And a thing to add is do something that's going to be different. So the reason So for example, there's so many video editors in this world. There's so many artists in this world. There's so many models in this world. There's so many actors and actresses in this world. Now, one thing that I'll always say is copy with a twist. Because what makes you different? You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, we heard the same rap. Okay, we heard the same artist. Now, that's when you copy, because copying is okay. You're inspired and we all copy each other. But put something that's a twist to it. So like, for example, let's say you are a rapper. Okay, everyone's a rapper, you know. Find something that makes you a little more unique. Like, what makes you unique as a rapper? Like, are your songs in a, you know, do you go to different, you know, do you rap in English and Spanish? Or do you, I don't know, just something that not the everyday person. It takes trial and error. I will say it takes time to find that, and sometimes you just have to let yourself be. Even if you feel like it isn't that special, somebody will. You will always have an audience. So I think so the first thing is find 1 to 3 things. The next thing is, it's generic, but I'm gonna go a little bit deeper into this. Volunteer and go to events. I know this is so cliche, like go, you know, and you know how you see those videos and no one ever gives you like where to do it. You know, everyone's like, oh, volunteer, go in events, Eventbrite, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have a lot more than that for you. But volunteer / events, that's how I have met a lot of people and been able to do things, because I volunteered and made connections. And you can volunteer for stuff that may not be something that you're, you know, all the way in. For example, you may be in music, but you end up working at a film festival. I'm 9 out of 10 times there will be someone that knows somebody or is doing something in music. So I say volunteer at least once or twice a week, or go to an event that has something to do. One thing that I will always say is it only takes one person, and I'm gonna make a video about this, but do not think you need to know a lot of people to find work. Because let me tell you, I did that my freshman year of college and sophomore. I did all these things, but what did I do? I barely contacted anyone because it was too much to keep up. When you find at least one, I keep it in threes, 1 to 3 people that resonate with you and you can connect with them, it's easier and you build more connection with the network. Because the entertainment industry is all about networking and projects. Like, a lot of the stuff you do, unless you're working like a company or something, you got to get them callbacks. So my advice to you would just simply focus on the one instead of the all. So if you go to this event, every event and volunteer, I want you to at least talk to 2 people that you could connect with. I'm going to put on like good places, good websites and stuff that you can look at that could find volunteer events, like all that stuff, so to help you get started. Another thing that I'm gonna say is, if you live in a small town, I don't have this issue because I live in Nashville. Well, I was in LA for a semester and then I live in Nashville, so I don't really have too much trouble with this, so I don't know. But if you live in a smaller town, I would recommend to go to the next biggest city that you have. So let's just say you live in, I don't know, Ohio, you know, what's Cleveland, Ohio, you know. There is more than likely some type of connection there. So I would recommend going to the next biggest city. But if you live like really far away from a city, I will be honest, I don't know what to say with that one yet. I could tell you to just go online and find something, but I would recommend really investing in yourself, because something that I heard from Megan Thee Stallion, actually, like with her interview with Shay Shay, was it costs money to invest in yourself. So sometimes find the biggest city and try to invest in yourself as much. You can also do virtual events. So that's another thing. The next thing is more of a mental thing, and it can be hard, especially in an industry like this. Like, I'm not saying I have seen so much of it, but I'm saying like I've seen bits and pieces, and sometimes, you know, ethics, and you know, it can be interesting depending on what you do. Be yourself. Like, literally, someone, and I know that's hard, like I don't even know who I am, like I'm still trying to figure that out myself, but really, like, don't focus on going to these events to just say, hey, what do you do? A lot of people would do that, and I mean, it's natural. Like, when we speak, we're always like, well, what do you do? Like, what do you do? It's just a part of human nature. But I want you to try something and really think about, like, connecting with someone, because I feel like when you have the most genuine connections, it's a lot, you know, it flows better, and people really can tell who's being authentic and who's not, because unfortunately we have a lot of people, especially in this industry, that's very ego driven and very, like, they care about status and stuff. You know, that's what you care about, that's what you care about. But I think authenticity makes so much sense. So when you see someone at a networking event, a volunteering event, don't even ask what they do. Just ask, hey, like, how are you? Or what's your favorite movie? Or I guess that's something to do with internship. But like, oh, like, where are you from? Like, I know they're like small talk and basic, but that person is gonna appreciate that you care about them as a human instead of what they do, because everybody's probably asking what they do, you know, but instead treat them like human. You get a lot more out of it. This is not even for entertainment. This is for you to just connect, because that's how you build genuine connections. People are more likely to talk to you and connect with you, and they may more likely get you that next project because they're like, oh, this person is so nice, and they actually want to get to know, because people like authenticity. I know that people, you know, in this industry are fake, whatever, but usually the most authentic people typically attract the most. So don't forget that. So I would say that's kind of a thing. Another thing, even if you're not in school, or if you're in college, or maybe you are in college, I don't know. Internships. Now, I know that's more of a if you're in a college thing, but I've seen there's a lot of companies that are willing to have people that are not in school to work with them, because it helps you get experience, and it helps you, and usually people in that company know somebody that's a lot, you know, that may have a little more connection, or they may like be able to give you a recommendation, because it is about who you know in this industry. So I think it's important to be able to do internships or small things. I would start with smaller companies, and I'll show a list of like what companies to look at, or like what websites you can start from there. You do have to be careful, because unfortunately AI and scamming is a thing, so be careful with that. So yeah, I would recommend just try an internship. I said a lot of them do school credit, but like maybe it's a company or something. You can maybe tell them like, your girl, if you talk a good talks, they'll, you know, sometimes you do trial and error. Most of this is trial and error. It may work, it may not. But as long as you're trying, that's all that matters. So I would recommend just finding places to start and really telling them why. Like, show why you're passionate about it. You can start getting experience from that. The next thing is join an organization. So basically, you know how you see like the association of camera operators, or the association of something. Those are great ways to start. Grammy U is a good one. You just share a little bit about your experience, and I'm gonna get into it. And honestly, like, that's another way you can network and connect with other people, is through, you know, an organization. I can show you more websites and stuff too, but joining an organization, you know, Meetup, you know, has good like Eventbrite. I know those are generic, but they have good places you can start. Just start, that's all I'm saying. So I would recommend, you know, to joining organizations. You can find them, like maybe your nearest city has something with, I don't know, like the organization, the association. and you could start from there. So joining an organization is great. You can find a lot of them online, or join a social or virtual group, something to start like building those collaborations and connections. Now, a lot of people say do not do this, but I'm gonna tell you that it's not a bad idea. A lot of people are like, do not cold call, do not just DM people. Let me tell you, I'm gonna tell you a story. So I was 19 years old, and I won't give any names or anything, and I saw this woman. Actually, somebody told me about her, and she's like a micro influencer. She's a female director that went to the same college that I went, and she lives in LA and like is doing her thing. So she was looking for people in Nashville to work with her. Girl, I was texting that girl for months, and then she finally connected, and I was able to be on a couple music videos with her. Sometimes it works. Now, have I done it and no one has answered? Oh yes, a lot of times. But don't discount it. DMing is the new thing. Emailing, people will answer. Not everybody. Now, if you're like emailing Warner, I get that. But again, start with small companies and small influencers, because they're more than likely to answer you back, and that's how you build, because most of these people know someone that's a little bit higher. So my last and final tip is your passion has to be bigger than your doubts. Doing something in entertainment, I think it's one of those things where you work really hard and are low-key broke for a long time, but then later it comes to fruition. Because it's not like some other industries that they go out of college and they're probably set, like they have a salary, they're okay. But if you're trying to be a musician, a video editor, and you're going based off projects, you may be broke for a while. You may have to work them, them part-time jobs, or you may work at a company and you gotta put in those other hours to get to where you wanna be. You gotta work on until the crack of dawn. So I want you to really think about that. A lot of people go through the same thing you do. These superstars, you only see their success. Most of them have been in the game for years, like 11 to 15 years without anyone even noticing them, and then they blew up out of. A perfect example I'll give you is Victoria Monet. Victoria Monet, last year, 2023, she was popping. Everyone was singing her song, everyone was loving it. It was a great year. But Victoria Monet has been doing this music. She's always had a good following, and she had Ariana Grande. She always had something, but she didn't really get her shine until a couple years. But she's been doing this thing for over 10 years. She's been doing it for a very long time. So I want you to know that just because, first, the way you shine is going to be different from everybody. I want you to think that you're creative and your talents are more than enough. And there's an audience for everything. Someone is gonna see that, and someone is gonna be like, wow, I need that person, or wow, I would love to work with that person, or wow, I could see this person on stage. But you have to believe in yourself, because there will be times no one will believe in you. There will be times where people are gonna tell you to give up, or there will be a lot of the times of what I've been told is that's not a real job. Or why are you even doing that? Most of those people are failures, and they're unhealed, and they ain't done shit with their life. So most of the people that have done that tried it and they failed. But it doesn't mean you have to be that way. So I want you to know that it's okay. I'm here. I can explain, I can cry with you, because I feel that every day. But I have a dream, and that's all that matters. And that dream will come when it's time. So do not give up, and I really hope to see you somewhere. And if you want more videos like this and other things, please subscribe, and thank you for watching. And bye, and can't wait to see you in the next. And also, I have another channel called Alwayskadaisha. That's more of my motivation lifestyle. So that's more generic advice, and also like kind of like my life and like catching up with like who I am. So if you're interested in that, please give it a check and subscribe. And thank you guys. Bye. Love you.